Hey everyone and welcome back to Scandalous Media. Justin Baldoni is not backing down and he's coming at Blake Lively hard. Last we chatted, we told you Blake Lively's side of the story. After that, Justin Baldoni filed a $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times, alleging that the newspaper published a vicious smear campaign orchestrated by Blake and her team. The New York Times has since defended its reporting, stating that the story was meticulously and responsibly reported based on thousands of pages of original documents. I am currently working on a bigger deep dive on Justin's lawsuit, including today's newest update. But for now, you won't believe what happened next. Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively are going at it and Taylor Swift is caught in the middle. After filing a $200 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times, accusing them of publishing a vicious smear campaign orchestrated by Blake Lively and her team, Justin Baldoni is taking it a step further. Justin and his production company have just filed a massive lawsuit against Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist Leslie Sloan, demanding hundreds of millions of dollars in damages. According to documents obtained by TMZ, Blake was allegedly determined to paint Baldoni as the real-life villain in her narrative to divert attention from being criticized as tone-deaf during the film's media tour. Justin claims Blake used the tour to promote her hair care and alcohol brands despite the film's focus on DV. In the lawsuit, Justin alleges that the conflict between them began in May 2023 during the movie's production, accusing Blake of orchestrating a takeover strategy as they clashed over creative control. Justin is calling out Ryan Reynolds for his involvement in rewriting the script. He claims Blake had reworked the pivotal rooftop scene where the main characters first met. He says they had a meeting at Blake and Ryan's New York penthouse to discuss it. However, Justin now believes the meeting was more of an ambush. According to Justin, Ryan was involved from the start, enthusiastically praising Blake's rewrite, and then hours later, Taylor Swift joined the discussion, also expressing her support for Blake's version of the scene. Justin says he understood the subtext. He needed to comply with Blake's direction for the script because she brought her famous husband and the world's most famous person to basically coerce him into agreeing with Blake's version. Because of this, he later texted Blake to say he liked what she'd written and would have felt that way even without Ryan and Taylor's input, and that's a text you see here. He writes, "Also was working on the rooftop scene today. I really love what you did. It really does help a lot. Makes it so much more fun and interesting. And I would have felt that way without Ryan and Taylor." She replies saying, "That's very appreciated and means a lot. I'm deeply inspired by the film we're gonna make outside of the success of this book." In a different text, Blake describes her, Taylor, and Ryan with a Game of Thrones reference, writing, "I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons. My dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you." In an email, Justin claims Blake expressed warm gratitude for all the work they've done to prepare for the movie, but he now believes that it was all a facade so she could wrestle away control from him. "Your lawsuit shows you're an abuser," is what Blake Lively's response is to Justin Baldoni suing her, Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist. Blake's legal team responded to Justin's lawsuit saying, "This is an age-old story. A woman speaks up with concrete evidence of sexual harassment and retaliation, and the abuser attempts to turn the tables on the victim. This is what experts call DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim, offender." Blake's team is claiming that Justin and his production company are pulling out all the stops to try and overwhelm the public's ability to understand that what they are doing is retaliation against sexual harassment allegations. As I said in my previous video, Justin and his production company filed a federal lawsuit accusing Blake and her publicist Leslie of an alleged campaign to smear him and take control of It Ends With Us. Blake's legal team responded saying they are trying to shift the narrative to Miss Lively by falsely claiming that she seized creative control and alienated the cast from Mr. Baldoni. The evidence will show that the cast and others had their own negative experiences with Mr. Baldoni and Wayfarer. The evidence will also show that Sony asked Miss Lively to oversee Sony's cut of the film, which they then selected for distribution and was a resounding success. In my previous video, I said that Justin Baldoni is accusing Blake Lively of orchestrating a campaign to smear his reputation during the production of their film. He claims that Blake manipulated the narrative around the film's media tour, casting him as the villain to deflect attention from her own controversial behavior. Justin alleges that Blake used her PR team, led by Leslie Sloan, to spread false claims about him, including accusations of sexual harassment. He also accuses Blake of seeking creative control of the film, even going as far as rewriting key scenes and pressuring him to agree with her vision with the support of her husband Ryan Reynolds and her bestie Taylor Swift. But that's not all. Justin Baldoni is giving us more of an inside look of what happened behind the scenes with him and Blake. First, he said that he and Blake had creative differences over the character's wardrobe, with Blake wanting Lily Bloom to be rich and sexy, but Justin was like, she's a struggling small business owner? Then Justin claimed that Blake didn't even read the book, saying that she even tried to Google the color of her character's hair rather than pick up the book. About the controversial January 2024 meeting involving himself, Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and other cast and crew members, Justin claims that Blake arrived with a 17-point return to production demand as they geared up for reshoots on the film. This is the same meeting where Ryan allegedly confronted Justin over the supposed sexual harassment that took place during filming. His lawsuit claims Blake unleashed Reynolds on Baldoni and Wayfarer. Justin claims although he gave in to most of Blake's demands, she continued to threaten to torpedo the movie unless she got to cut her own version of the film. Sony Studios, who was distributing the film, told Justin's production company that Blake refused to promote the movie unless they allowed her to do her own cut. So what did they do? They turned it into a competition, deciding to screen both versions to an audience and determine which one tested better. The version with the stronger response would ultimately become the final cut. Baldoni said that his version scored significantly higher with key audience demographics, but he claims, not surprisingly, Blake backtracked on her promise and insisted Sony release her version, which they did. Justin says he essentially was forced to fire himself from directing the movie. Even after yielding to the pressure, Justin claims the smearing continued as the movie was released. He says the entire cast unfollowed him on social media and sided with Blake. Justin alleges that Blake's PR team, led by Leslie Sloan, went into overdrive, launching a campaign to portray Blake as a martyr and shift the blame onto him. He claims Sloan collaborated with his ex-publicist, whom he had recently fired, and used her company phone to gather a series of texts which they used to fabricate a false narrative about him. The lawsuit includes numerous texts Sloan reportedly sent to various media outlets, including TMZ, in an attempt to deflect attention from Lively's tyrannical behavior on set.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit, which proved exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin.
What do you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for our deep dive coming very soon. So much is happening in this crazy story with new developments within the hour, so this video is a shorter one to get you caught up. In my next video, I'm going to go into more detail about more things Justin is alleging, so trust me, you don't want to miss this. Be sure to like and subscribe for new videos each week. Check us out on podcast format, now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on our social media, and as always, I'll see you next time.